Crisco's proud of me. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Normal America Show. Host robnoerr. Got a show lined up for you tonight. Will it be a good one? I don't know. Who knows what'll happen? Maybe we'll get some lefties to call in and start yelling. Khalil says, just listen to Sitch say you were defending Trump on the last panel. He assumes shit just as much as the next guy. Yeah, Sitch kind of sucks. I went on and did 4 hours with him and Adam. Adam was incredibly rude to me the whole time. They have a bias, both of them. They call themselves centrists. They very well may be centrist, but they also have a bias towards the establishment. And so they will tend to listen to what establishment sources tell them. So I haven't heard what Sitch is saying right now, but my guess is he's been critical of Trump, I would guess, in this scandal, in ways that he's unwilling to do so when it came to the Biden story, Hillary email scandal, etc. And even if he said, maybe he was critical of the Hillary email scandal, the Biden-Ukraine stuff, I know he wasn't that much because I debated him with that. But as always, these people are more focused on taking down Trump or if Trump did something bad. And they think that if you're saying that the FBI is engaged in a witch hunt against Trump, and that's the problem, that you're saying, oh, if Hillary did something, it's okay if Trump did it. That's whataboutism. No, I don't give a shit what Hillary and Trump did as far as them as individuals. I care more about a corrupt system that is telling us that only people they approve of will be allowed to run for office and to obtain office. Or, God forbid, the one time that they do obtain a major office like Trump, then they'll investigate and stymie him, his entire administration. Do I check my Discord DM? Sometimes. Should I be checking that now? Let me check to see if I checked. Yeah, Jordan, I'll reach out to you. I like to, when it comes to, I don't mind doing debates with people I know, or if it's like a panel or something when I'm at my work office. But when it comes to like a serious interview or something like that, I'd like to be at home. I have no clue when I'll be able to stream from home. Hopefully in July. This work situation's crazy. So, but yeah. That's my feelings on Sitch. And he was a crybaby. He calls me biased, which we're all biased. We all have a bias. And it's something I don't understand. I run into this all the time. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm a hypocrite. I am. All of us are hypocrites to some extent too. But I've certainly complained about stuff that then I've gone and done the same thing. But I try to limit it. I really do. But I can't think of a time, maybe you all can, where I was just super upset about name calling or anything like that in a stream. Inevitably, what happens almost every time is someone will start name calling and stuff like that, or making accusations. Then I'll retort, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like when I debated, I'm really important, and he kept saying, "You're spreading Putin's talking points." Oh my God, it's just Putin. You're just spreading Putin's talking points. To which I responded, "That is childish. It's childish to say that." And he's like, "I'm not going to put up with your name calling. You spent the entire time saying I was spreading Putin's talking points, and me correctly calling that a childish way to look at things." He's like, "What?" Brianna did it on this stream just the other day. She comes on, "Oh, the Republicans, it's time to stop being children and walk away and go after Trump and blah blah blah." Then when I give shit right back to her, it's like, "I just wanted a civil conversation. It's a shame we couldn't have one." But Sitch was probably the worst with it. 4 hours of watching his co-host be rude to me without him interjecting, and both of them calling me biased. And then when I literally use the same term to them, that they have a bias. "See, we shouldn't have had you on. I'm just going to kick you. I'm going to kick you." Thank you, Khalil. Yeah, my name is getting around. They know the truth. And I understand the low IQ takes from like a Destiny follower that'll be like, "It's just whataboutism. Rob's just talking about Hillary and he thinks if Hillary did it." I saw this over and over that Destiny supporters were saying something to this effect. so Rob's saying that that if Hillary's guilty, then he must also think Trump's guilty. So which is it? That Rob, he thinks it's okay for the Trump to do this if anyone else did it. That is nowhere near the level of what I'm discussing this. No, I wasn't on Today, Rolling Stone, no. I'm talking about corrupt institutions like the intel agencies. That's what I'm talking about. And again, what you see, I'm not going to rehash this, we'll just talk about it real quick. What you see all the time is when those corrupt institutions are allowing their side to get away with shit, no big deal, no big deal. But then as soon as your side does something, they're like, oh yeah, pounce, now they're getting them, yep. And if you don't like it, it's whataboutism. Hello, Ninja. Well, yeah, they don't think of the precedents, and they don't believe that they'll ever be held to the standards because they're better than you. So, we just had, no one's above the law, right? No one is above the law. The press secretary, Karen Jean-Pierre, just got notified she violated the Hatch Act. That comes with civil penalties and supposed to be removal of job. No one's above the law, right? We gonna hear Biden call for that? What about the one executive branch person that admitted to perjuring herself? Said she didn't have any stocks and then came out and said, yeah, okay, I did. That's a lie, lied to Congress. No one's above the law, right? No one's above the law. Oh, except everyone on the left. But nonetheless, maybe we'll argue with someone here. But today I wanted to celebrate being a fat bastard. Something I'm good at and have been good at for a long time. I enjoy being obese. And I thought, why not come here and discuss how much I enjoy being obese. Fat pride, yeah. Why not? Oh, Father's Day. Yeah, it's coming up. Hopefully I'll get to see my son on Father's Day and Pride Month. I have pride in my being obese. I would debate Nina. That's fine. I did lose weight. So I've gone from severely obese to obese. How about that? So I'm happy with that. So I've been really working hard at it for about 2 months now, almost 3 months. So I've been trying to eat right. I've been trying to do like an exercise routine and everything, and it's going all right. F for Cormac McCarthy, huh? Nah, it's not a carnivore diet. I'll let people know what I'm doing. Blood Meridian's on my next list of books I want to read, but I don't know why we're typing F for Cormac McCarthy. I'm currently reading The Count of Monte Cristo, and I just finished The Gulag Archipelago. My plan is to read a nonfiction, then a fiction, then nonfiction, then fiction is my plan. So I've got to come up with a good nonfiction after The Count of Monte Cristo, but it's pretty long, so it'll probably take me a while to get through it. I came to the conclusion that having a son and a great wife, that I want to live a long time and I want to be healthier. And so I've been trying to improve myself in various ways. I've been trying to improve my health. I want to improve sort of intellectually, so I've been trying to read more. With my job, even though I haven't been like making more money or anything like that, I've committed to just doing my job better. And so I think I've been doing okay. So my weight, when I graduated high school, I think I weighed 230. Is what I weighed. So I'm 30. Shit, I'm almost 39. I'm 38. I'll be 39 on July 4th. So, 20 years ago, I weighed 230 pounds. Then I drank a lot in college. Like, a lot. Like, 4 days out of the week. And it wasn't like, oh, you had a beer or two or a glass of wine. No, I got hammered. 380 pounds? Yeah. No, did I say 380? Oh, that's what you were. Yeah, so I was 230. My highest weight after years of being basically an alcoholic was 327 pounds. I think I weighed at one point. 327. And I think I have a picture of what I would have looked like at that weight. Let's see here. There he is. When's that? That was 2010. With my Slayer t-shirt. I was quite the metal fan. So yeah, I would say 2010. That was probably around 320 pounds. Yeah, pretty hot, huh? So yeah, 320, 327, around there. Yeah, that guy does have a kid in his vein. There's a bunch more pictures on there I could show you. I don't have old pictures. I used to have a ton of old pictures signed up on Facebook, but then when I ran for Congress, my friend that was like my campaign manager was like, hey, it looks like that might be drug paraphernalia in that picture. Oh, you better get this with the beer bong. Oh, it looks like you may have vomit on you there. So I ended up removing a bunch of pictures. I wouldn't mind showing you more pictures here, but most of them are me with people. And I don't know that they want to be associated with being on my stream. There's fat guy Rome with a lesser beard. But I also definitely had pictures with the bigger beard. You know, let's see if I can find another. But this is all my drunken era. Let's see. This is a good fat guy photo, drunk. That was probably vodka and water I was drinking. Yeah, I had quite the hair, and now look. So maybe that's where I lost the weight. I lost 60 pounds of hair. So I'm 5'8", by the way, is what I'm. So I'm a short guy. So when I started my YouTube stream, which was the first streams I was doing, the first videos I did, let's see, was in August of 2018. And I know exactly what I weighed within 3 or 4 months of them, because I started doing this DDP Yoga stuff, and they had you weigh yourself and take your blood pressure and take photos of yourself with your shirt off like a big embarrassing fat. And I weighed 295. So I'll play you the first YouTube video I ever made that's explaining my channel. It's on private right now because YouTube strikes. I'm sure this video will get a community strike on YouTube now. So might help if I turn the audio on. Alright, let's see what this guy has to say. Hi everyone, thanks for finding this channel. I just wanted to discuss a little what to expect for this channel. So, I'm kind of a politics junkie, a news junkie. Spend way too much time reading stories online, alternative media sites, and watching mainstream media about current events of the day, news stories, philosophy, things of that nature. And I realized I live in rural Pennsylvania. Most of my friends have like real jobs, like truck drivers, farmers, work on road crews, things like that. They also have an interest in politics, but they don't have the luxury of having the free time like I have to be able to look into this stuff. So I really don't feel like there's a platform to make things accessible for people like that don't have hours every day to look into the background of these stories. So that was kind of why I wanted to start this channel, be able to give a big picture view of what's going on, break it down so you don't have to do hours of research. Now, I will have sources linked and things like that so people can do further research into it if they want. But I also think it'd be interesting to
have people like that on this channel and kind of discuss how politics and current events affects their everyday lives at the jobs they're at. You don't really see many platforms where you have people like family farmers, truck drivers, things of that nature get to come on and discuss how politics affects their everyday life. So I think it'd be interesting to do that. And the third thing is I want to try to get people that disagree with me on the channel, because I think that we always learn a lot more through debate. And I think that's something we've lost. Like, it seems like now if someone says something you disagree with, you have to be offended by it or something. I think that's ridiculous. I don't mind like little name calling, things of that nature, but as long as it's funny, that's the important part. But we could be respectful, have respectful disagreements with each other, and I think that I would like this channel to show it's okay to disagree with someone. There's no one right answer a lot of times, so it'd be interesting to get people that disagree with me. Who knows, maybe I'll even learn something. So thanks for finding this channel, and I hope you continue to support it. Thanks so much.
Well, there is one right answer. It's what I say, and I haven't learned anything through any of those debates. But I think you can tell I've lost weight in the face. I don't know. I guess I'm biased, but it feels like it. But yeah, that was the first video I did. So to get an idea of, that was 295 I weighed there. And so here recently, when I decided like 2.5 months ago that I was going to be real serious, actually it's been, I can tell you exactly how long it's been. I use this little app here. So when I started seriously, and I basically came to the decision one night, just hanging out with my son, and I was like, why am I fat? God, I gotta get healthy. So let's see, I'm on week 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 8 weeks ago, 7.5 weeks ago. So I was 268 pounds, basically 2 months ago. And I knew I was getting close. So when I woke up today, I was 249 pounds. And then if we go to the stupid ass BMI, here I am 5'8". So if we go over here, I'm orange! I'm just obese! Finally, I'm not morbidly obese. Thanks, old Scotty. Yeah, so I did it. I'm just obese now. I'm happy to be obese. Now, I'll be honest. I've heard people say the body mass index isn't necessarily the best way to view things. And I get that. It's just some sort of metric. But if you look here, normal weight for a 5'8" person like me is 160 pounds. There's no way I'm getting down to 160 pounds. It's not happening. Yeah, I think I would be very happy to be at 190. That would be overweight. That I would, if I make that, I'll be more than satisfied. Yeah, I'm 5'8" is my height. I'm a short guy, a little shorty, a little short, squat, fat guy. But yeah, I think that my goal, honestly, by the end of the year, I originally set a goal I wanted to be down to 240, but seeing as I'm already at 249, I think that it would be within reach to get to 230 pounds. And everyone can keep calling me a fat bastard. I don't mind the fat shaming. I think it helps me. So that's the plan. If I get down to 230 by the end of the year, and then hopefully within 2 years, I would love to be at 200 pounds. So, but that's the, I'm still taller in Destiny. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. I've never hung out with anybody I've streamed with in real life other than people you've met through my stream. That's it. Now, I did a weight loss contest with Aircraft Sparky, and I wasn't as dedicated as I am now. I had a lot of stuff going on. But my routine now is, so I use DDP Yoga, which I don't know if you guys know about this, but DDP was a wrestler. Diamond Dallas Page. Now he's got this like yoga program. I don't think they're calling it yoga anymore. They just call it DDPY. But I pay for it. It's like $100 a year. So back in 2018, I first got it. And then I'll do it for a month and then I quit. And then, my big thing is every diet I've ever done or, attempt to get healthy I've ever done, here's what happens. I'll do really good and I want to be, I hear you, Jordan. I would do it if you want. I do really well, but I get too into it. Right? So I'll be like, I got to basically like starve myself and I got to do 8 hours of exercise a day. Not that much, but you get the point. And then what happens is inevitably I'll have a day where I fall off, right? It'll be like, it's Thanksgiving or it's, you're going out or you're going out with friends and you drink or something and then you eat a lot. And then it's like, well, I'll fix it tomorrow. And then the next day and then the next day. And the next thing you know, you're like, it's been a year. And so this time around, what I've committed to doing is like just to take it on a day-by-day thing and to not beat myself up too much if I have bad days, right? So before it was like, if you have a bad day, it's like, well, I failed, so there's no sense trying anymore. Now I feel like it's more of a like, it's okay. Just keep track of day by day. And my feeling is if I have more good days than bad days, then I'm at least going in the right direction. So even if I eat like crap 3 days out of the week, if I did good 4 days, then I headed in the right direction that week. Now I know that's not an exact science. By the way, I'm not giving anyone any advice. I'm just telling people how I'm trying to approach this. But I've been really good. I haven't had many bad days at all. So I do the DDP yoga thing. When I started in 2018, like I said, I was 295 pounds. The furthest, they got like these different programs. I'll show you sort of like these. I don't know if you can see. That's the program I have, right? And you can see there's different exercises on there. Oh, which way am I going? What am I doing? Yeah. So you can see if the light doesn't screw up. I've been doing I started off doing 1 a day, and now I'm doing 2 or 3 a day. So I did my 2 today. Did I? Yeah, I did 3 today. But the way it works is you can pick like a program on the DDPY thing. So it asks like, how advanced are you? And I picked beginner because I'm not trying to be a decathlon or anything. All right, Jordan, it's a deal. By the end of the year, so my weight today is 249 pounds. You're 250. So it sounds good. I try to wake up in the morning and do that. I chose the easiest one. Now they set a program up for you, but you could adjust it. So the recommended program, it's just like every other day you do one routine. I try to do the base routine every day and then add on. After a while, I've added on. Trump's about to talk. I'll check it out later. And so that's where I'm at. And then as far as eating, when I'm at home, I basically eat pseudo-normal, except I'm trying to cut out all sugar, basically. So I don't do any dessert. I don't do any soda or anything like that. If I do any type of beverage that's not water, it's like diet green tea or once in a blue moon, a Diet Coke. But I'm also trying to watch my sugar, which has been really good lately. And then I'm also trying to heavily limit bread and starch and stuff like that. So when I'm at home, it's more normal, like 2-3 meals a day. When I'm at work, this is what I eat. This is what I've been eating. Every day for lunch, I have a can of sardines and mustard sauce. That's my lunch. I don't eat breakfast. Lunch, I usually have around 11 o'clock It's a can of sardines and mustard. Dinner we eat at 4 when I'm at work, and it's usually a vegetable and a meat. So, because of work, one of my tasks at work is I cook for people that I help take care of, and a lot of people are they're in home health care, have a problem with weight and other health ailments like that, physical ailments, and so oftentimes it's very difficult to make eating healthy exciting. Vegetables I've found to be very difficult for a lot of the people I work with. So we found these they're like broccoli tots and cauliflower tots. They kind of look like tater tots, but they're made with broccoli and cauliflower. So we do that a lot. We do Brussels sprouts a lot. Once in a blue moon we'll do corn, but never any potatoes or anything like that. So just meat and green vegetable. And that's what I've been eating basically every day. Sardines for lunch at 11, and then meat vegetable at 4. And because I read about some people say if you eat within a intermittent fasting or whatever, if you eat within a short period of time, sometimes that could help. I don't know, but yeah, that's. So I just thought I would like to let people know that I was proud of myself that I lost a little weight, And I know I'm still a fat bastard, don't get me wrong. And I'll be honest, I could joke around and say, fat shaming helped and stuff. It does. It did help, in a sense, but not really. It didn't bother me, but it didn't really help me. The difference, I think, why I'm doing better, and the longest I've ever kept with, the DDP Yoga or a workout routine's been 6-7 weeks. So I'm at 8 weeks right now, and I feel like I'm doing really good. I feel like the regular routine I do every day, it's a 25-minute workout, and it's to the point where it makes me sweat, and there's push-ups and stuff like that in it that's still difficult, and I'm certainly not perfect or anything, but it's not like when I started, when it was oh my god, my legs felt like they were going to fall off. Now it feels like it's not bad, and I actually kind of look forward to doing it. And I remember once, I don't know who it was. I think it was Carmelo Anthony, of all people, but I could be wrong. It might have been a different basketball player, who said that they had to convince themselves when they were young to like practice. Instead of just being well, I have to practice to get better, they had to convince themselves, I actually like this. Yeah, it is definitely, it's easier to get in a habit of the day. This is when I say, what about myself, Pluto? So, I think that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where it's maybe it was Kobe. But I'm at the point where it's I actually enjoy doing, now when I'm mixing in the slightly next step routines that are a little harder. And those are hard to look forward to because usually I'm just it's a bunch of stuff putting one leg in the air. They do these sit-ups where they're laying your back and then you bring your legs and your chest up at the same time. Yeah, that ain't happening. I can't do that. I can bring my legs up or I could do a sit-up, but I can't do both. I don't even know how it's humanly possible. And then they'll do stuff where it's you kind of sit in your butt or kind of towards laying in your back, and then you reach down and you grab your foot, and then you put your foot up to your ear. I can't do that. That's not happening. Trump's speaking now on YouTube. Let's see what he says.
Of boxes at Mar-a-Lago. Many people have asked me why I had these boxes. Why did you want them? The answer, in addition to having every right under the Presidential Records Act, is that these boxes were containing all types of personal belongings, many, many things, shirts and shoes and everything. As can be seen in the picture where someone, not me, I wonder who it might have been,
audio sucks,
dumped one of the very neatly arranged boxes all over the floor. They were full of newspapers, press clippings, thousands of pictures, thousands and thousands of White House pictures. The White House photographer, some are with us today.
Maybe this is a better.
Many things, shirts and shoes and everything.
There we go.
As can be seen in the
I
picture
don't want to
where
stream
someone,
too
not
fast.
me,
I don't want to do that.
I wonder who it might have been, dumped one.
I don't want to do that. That's probably not right. See if I can find a better audio feed.
I had these boxes. Why did you want them? The answer, in addition to having every right under the Presidential Records Act, is that these boxes were containing all types of personal belongings, many things, shirts and shoes and everything. As can be seen in the picture where someone, not me, I wonder who it might have been, dumped one of the very neatly arranged boxes all over the floor. They were full of newspapers, press clippings, thousands of pictures, thousands and
It's actually
thousands
not a bad
of White
point.
House
Something
pictures.
I thought of. If there was someone
The
in
White House
Trump's
photographers,
home,
some
like one of
are
his
with us
agents
today.
or something that didn't
They
like him,
took
how do
so
we know
many
they didn't
pictures,
make
and we
that
saved
mess?
all of
Thank
them,
you,
and they were in
Allison.
those
I appreciate
boxes.
this up.
Clothing, memorabilia, and much more. I hadn't had a chance to go through all the boxes. It's a long, tedious job. It takes a long time, which I was prepared to do, but I have a very busy life. I've had a very busy life. They make it more busy because you're always fighting. And under the Sox decision, there seemed to be no rush. I wasn't in a rush because that decision was law. The other picture that was so vile, you remember that one? It was angry and corrupt, was the photo staged by the FBI. And those that raided Mar-a-Lago, they were putting documents all over the floor. Remember that famous picture? All over, said confidential, said presidential, said all sorts of things. And it was supposed to be there like it was that way when they raided. It wasn't that way. They put them there, took the picture, and released it illegally to the press. They took my medical records, my passport, my birth certificate, and apologized. They even brought a safecracker. This is a professional safecracker they brought into Mar-a-Lago. And they broke into my safe, and you know what they found? Nothing. There was nothing there. Nothing there. And zero. According to the Presidential Records Act, which was a big deal, I was supposed to negotiate with NARA, which is exactly what I was doing until Mar-a-Lago was raided by gun-toting FBI agents. I have security tapes of it. I gave them security tapes of everything in a flagrant violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which protects the right against unreasonable search and seizure. And Sebastian, you covered very well, I must say. Very well. I'm not the one who thinks I'm above the law. I'm the one that followed the law. I'm the only one. It's Joe Biden and his corrupt Department of Injustice who think they are above the law. Never before have the two standards of justice in our country been more starkly revealed. Joe Biden had troves of classified documents from his time as vice president and even as a senator, which was completely and totally illegal. In fact, other senators heard about it. Dick Durbin heard about it. You have to see his response. There's no way that's totally illegal. Took him as a senator out of a skiff. They were shocked when they found out. They actually thought it was impossible to do. Biden sent 1,850 boxes to the University of Delaware, making the search very, very difficult for anybody. And he refuses to give them up, and he refuses to let people even look at them. And then they say how he's behaving so nicely. Many of Biden's classified documents were in Chinatown, D.C., Chinatown, which is shocking considering his family receives so much money from China. I wonder how many times the friends of ours from China reviewed those documents. Chinatown, D.C. Others were unsecured at his so-called Penn Biden Center in Washington, which paid Biden approximately $1 million a year. The money supposedly coming from China, and still other classified documents were strewn all over his garage floor, where his now famous Corvette is stored. He's so proud of that car. There was no security, and the door was left open most of the time. It was open. All of those classified documents, all of those documents strewn all over the floor, piled up like junk. Unlike me, who had absolute declassification authority as president, Joe Biden, as vice president, had no authority to declassify and no right to possess the documents. He had no right. Instead of falling under the Presidential Records Act, Biden's actions fell under a much stricter Federal Records Act, which has very, very tough criminal penalties. Yet nothing happens to Crooked Joe. Nothing happened. Have you heard anything about the big search for his documents? No, only me. Most infamously of all, Hillary Clinton set up an illegal private server in her basement. You never heard this story. With the deliberate intention of violating public information laws so she could hide her pay-for-play scandals at the Clinton foundations or whatever. Hillary stored vast quantities of classified and sensitive information on her illicit
Most
server.
of what he's saying is true.
Some of it happened to leak. It leaked into Anthony Weiner's computer. Remember Anthony Weiner? Into his computer. You don't want to be on his computer. And all of it was illegal because thankfully she was never president. She didn't have the powers to declassify. Thank you. Thank you. She didn't have the powers to declassify. It's a big difference. And neither did Joe. You know, Joe didn't have. Do you mind? Have a drink. It's a little bit cooler than it was, but it's pretty hot out here. Thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Great birthday. Nice birthday, isn't it? Nice birthday. Wonderful birthday. They were saying happy birthday. I was with Eric and Laura, the kids. Happy birthday, Grandpa. Happy. And I said, oh, great. I just got charged with, they want 400 years approximately. If you add them all up, a fake 400 years. Oh, thank you, darling. That's so nice. It's a wonderful birthday. We're going to make it into the greatest birthday of all. We'll make it into the greatest of all. When caught, Hillary then deleted and acid washed. Nobody does that because of the expense, but it's pretty conclusive. 33,000 emails in defiance of a congressional subpoena. Already launched. The subpoena was there, and she decided to delete, acid wash, and then smash and destroy her cell phones with a hammer. And then they say, I participated in obstruction? Now think of it. That's called obstruction. There's never been obstruction as grave as that. She did this in the face of everything, and yet nobody did anything about it. The FBI and the DOJ protected her, did not issue subpoenas, did not use a grand jury, did not execute search warrants,
Right.
And then the corrupt head of the FBI, James Comey, declared no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case. Can you believe it? And that was just one of many items. Hillary Clinton broke the law, and she didn't get indicted. Joe Biden broke the law, and in many other ways we're finding out, and so far has not gotten indicted. I did everything right, and they indicted me. But, you know, we're serving as a great example. In the case of Bill Clinton's national security advisor, remember that? Sandy Berger. He was caught stealing classified documents from the National Archives, very big ones, very important ones, by stuffing them in his
Seen
pants.
them live
That's
a couple
pretty.
times.
And putting them also in his socks. And he destroyed them and cut the tape with scissors, cut them all up. What Berger did was highly illegal, but he was given nothing,
Thanks,
no jail time, nothing happened. There are countless other examples. Bill Clinton, who I happen to like, hard to believe, right? Before I did this, I was actually quite friendly with him. Nice guy. They should have used him a little bit more as an advisor on the 2016 election. He said, you know, you better get to Wisconsin, you're going to lose. No, we're not. You better get to Michigan, you're going to lose. No, we're not. They did. Bill Clinton lost the nuclear codes, and absolutely nothing was done about it. He lost the nuclear codes. The George W. Bush White House lost 22 million emails, a record. NARA cannot assure complete transfer of any of the Bush records. A document shredding truck was spotted on the way to Dick Cheney's house. Can you imagine? Hillary Clinton took hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of furniture, china, flatware, rugs, and more from the White House, and she wasn't prosecuted. How about that one? She took the furniture and the china.
I don't know about some of this stuff.
How about if Trump did that? Do you think Trump would have a little problem?
I don't know about
the horrific violations of my rights by crooked Joe Biden's weaponized Department of Injustice are unthinkable. It's unthinkable.
I don't know about that one either, John.
So bad for our country. Democrats all, they lawlessly pierced my attorney-client privilege with lawyers. What they did to lawyers, what they have done to our lawyers, all of our lawyers, they've done things that were absolutely horrible and unthinkable. The leaking has been unbelievable and highly illegal. They leak. We've learned more from the Washington Post, New York Times, about the DOJ's boxes hoax. It's a boxes hoax. Than from prosecutors themselves. We want to read about it. You pick up the Washington Post, which is not doing well, or you pick up the New York Times. But they'll do better now because of these things. You know, this is the only way they survive, but they'll end up dying. But it's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah, Sandy Berger.
We don't want to learn from the Times. We don't want to learn from leaks. We want to learn from the people we're supposed to learn from. It's like a leaking sieve in Washington. But we learned nothing about the Biden bribery scheme or special counsel Robert Hur's investigation. Robert Hur is doing the Biden investigation. He's a very respected, very nice person. Very nice person. Mine's not such a nice person. Mine's a deranged lunatic, which are many times the magnitude of ours in both number and severity. That's the prosecutor that they gave. He has found nothing. He totally exonerated Mike Pence. I'm happy about that. Mike did nothing wrong, but he happened to have classified documents in his house. But they exonerated him, and Biden is a different story. I mean, so much. You have to really think about what I said. As a senator, he took all of those documents. It's unprecedented. The prosecutor in the case, I will call it our case, is a thug. I've named him Deranged Jack Smith. I wonder what his name used to be, Jack Smith. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Jack Smith. What's his name? Jack Smith. He's a very nice man. He's a behind-the-scenes guy, but his record is absolutely atrocious. He does political hit jobs. He's been known to viciously arrest a certain governor. You know the governor, Bob McDonnell of Virginia, and absolutely ruined his life and the life of his family. All these wonderful family members, I knew them, only to have the case overturned 8-0 by the Supreme Court. He destroyed that man and he destroyed that family. And by the way, I will tell you, I'm here and I love you all, and we can take it. But what these thugs have done to my family is a disgrace. I will tell you that. And I say it to all of the fake news, because there's a lot of it back there. What they did to my family, and that young man right there, he's answered more subpoenas than any human being in the history of the world. And you know what? They have nothing after all of those subpoenas.
He certainly has a way of...
thousands of them. Congress, fake counsels, Mueller report, all of this. All he did is answer subpoenas all the time. At least he's become very experienced at that. Congratulations. But Eric is fantastic, and what he and Don and Ivanka and the whole group, that's what they've gone through, and these are serious people. These are serious people. But what he's done to my family. What they have done to my family is horrible. He also tried to railroad John Edwards on a completely bogus legal theory that didn't hold up in court. It's no wonder this raging lunatic was shipped off to The Hague to prosecute war criminals using globalist tribunals, not beholden to the Constitution or the rule of law. Two things Jack Smith clearly disdains. You take a look at this guy, he looks like a thug. But then I watched him make a speech the other day, and he was trembling because it wasn't his territory. He feels much safer in the inner sanctums of the Department of Injustice, where he can be in his room and scream at people. He's a raging and uncontrolled Trump hater, as is his wife, who also happened to be the producer of that Michelle Obama puff piece. It was total puff piece. This is the guy I've got. Don't forget, this persecution is being done by the same weaponized agencies that for 7 years have been running illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people, much as if they were trying to destabilize a foreign country. From the Russia hoax to the no collusion Mueller witch hunt to impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, the 51 lying intelligence offers, how about them? They said it's Russia disinformation, and they knew it wasn't, which made about, according to some of the great pollsters that are right here, made from anywhere from a 10 to 17-point difference. And yet we still got more votes than any sitting president in history in the second election. And we actually did much better in the second election than we did in the first election. The fake dossier, paid for by the Democrats. How about the fake dossier? Remember that one? You think that was easy to go home and say, hello, darling, how are you, when they read about that? It wasn't easy at all. Spying on my campaign, we caught them spying on my campaign. The FBI, Twitter files, and so much more. It's all been a battle of disinformation, one thing after the other, and all to protect the radical left misfits. It's also no coincidence that these charges against me came down the very same day. Evidence revealed Joe Biden took a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. Took a $5 million bribe. But the FBI and the Justice Department don't even want to talk about it. They showed something on television tonight. It had 0 time on the 3 major networks, 0. But my impeachment had almost all the time. I think I had 351 minutes. They had no minutes. Okay? I think a lot of people are going to vote. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to vote. I will tell you, I just left Miami, and I've never seen love in the streets like that. I've never seen it. We've seen a lot of love. I've never seen love like that, because they know what we all go through. They know what we've gone through, and they see it, and they're smart. And, you know, many of those people coming from Cuba, Venezuela, other countries, they've seen this happening to their countries. I used to say that the United States, if it keeps going this way, it's going to be Venezuela on steroids. And now we're buying oil from Venezuela. Can you believe it? We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other nation, but we're buying tar from Venezuela, and we're refining it in Houston, the dirtiest, worst oil probably anywhere in the world, and we're refining it. So you can imagine what's going up in the air, and our beautiful stuff we're not taking out of the ground and making a lot of money and paying off debt and reducing taxes still further, which we were in the process of doing. They want to distract from the real espionage and the real crime, so let's use President Trump to do so. Let's go out and let's indict President Trump so they don't talk about the $5 million bribe. Just yesterday, Senator Grassley revealed that the Burisma executive who allegedly paid the bribe reportedly has Crooked Joe on tape. They have 17 tapes, I understand. He must be a nice guy to deal with, right? The guy from Burisma, nice company, they got him and Hunter on 17 different tapes, supposedly. But the FBI isn't showing them. Remember, they impeached me for asking a simple question about Biden's corrupt dealings in Ukraine, and now they see that once again I was right. I was totally right.
That's the best point he's made. The first impeachment,
Joe Biden and the radical left can take foreign bribes and be totally protected. Republicans all You must finally get tough. You've got to get tough. You got to get tough, and you got to show them. When you arrest your leading political opponent, we no longer have a democracy. When people are allowed to pour through our open borders and our elections are rigged, our country is in very serious trouble. When inflation is allowed to rage, when energy independence and dominance, we had independence and dominance. We were going to be soon very, very dominant. Within 6 months, we were going to dominate the whole world with energy, make a fortune. We were going to be paying off debt and lowering taxes at a level that nobody's ever seen, and they came in and they ended it. But when that's taken away from us, when interest rates and taxes spiral upward in an uncontrolled way, when murderers are allowed to roam, murderers, these are horrible killers, murderers are allowed to roam the streets of our Democrat-run cities unchecked, but the incompetent district attorney in New York indicts Trump for a crime that everybody agrees, every pundit, everybody, there is no crime. But murderers go out and nobody ever even comes and knocks on their door, and they know they're there, and they know their rooms, and they know their locations, and they're roaming our cities all over. And some of them are coming in right now through our borders. But then you have a nation that, as we are, is in serious, serious decline. We have a nation in serious decline. If the communists get away with this, it won't stop with me. They will not hesitate to ramp up their persecution of Christians, pro-life activists, parents attending school board meetings, and even future Republican candidates, which they do. We must end it permanently, and we must end it immediately. Now that the seal, so important, is broken, the seal is broken by what they've done. They should never have done this.
Disband the FBI, just say
This
it.
was an unwritten rule. You just don't, unless it's really bad. But you just don't. But the seal is now broken. In addition to closing the border and removing all of the criminal elements that have illegally invaded our country, making America energy independent and even dominant again, and immediately ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. I'll have it ended in 24 hours. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Name a special prosecutor. And all others involved with the destruction of our elections, our borders, and our country itself. They're destroying our country. And when I'm reelected, and we will get reelected, we have no choice. We're not going to have a country anymore. I will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state. And we know who they are. I know exactly who they are. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They want you silent. And I am the only one that can save this nation because you know they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving.
Yeah, you both like Jordan, Mike.
On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
I mean, I don't think it was like the best speech he ever gave or anything. Someone get a hold of Trump and tell his team to hire me. I'll do it, what? $250,000, right? The key is to discuss not just the double standards as he laid out there, but focus them on particularly how it's lined up vis-a-vis since 2016 with his opponent. So I wouldn't spend as much time talking about Bush's documents or Sandy Berger's and stuff, even though that's all true and you could make those claims. But every day they should be coming up with ways to show the American people the amount of corruption that's been against Trump and how it was in the bag for Hillary Clinton. The fact that oh, look, the kick post is working finally. Yay, guy on kick, fourth positionist. Go follow me on Kick. I'm at Rob Noer, or what am I? Normal America or Rob Noer on Kick? Rob Noer on Kick. Now, if you chat there, I worked on that today. I'm glad I got that to work. So yeah, if you're on Kick, you'll show up on screen just like on YouTube or Twitch. So, again, I've seen people saying today, it's little things that I don't understand why people, it doesn't have to be me. Like, okay, I don't give a shit. I'm a very happy guy. I got a great family. What's up, Suds? I got a great family. I love my life. Now, don't say anything in the chat and Kick that can get me in too much trouble in terms of service. Because I am on YouTube and Twitch as well. But I haven't heard anyone say this. The fact that they're going after low-level people connected to Trump like Nada, and then saying, oh, we think he's going to flip, proves how corrupt the Hillary investigation was. Because in the Hillary investigation, they knew that a low-level guy was lying to the FBI and had destroyed subpoenaed evidence, but they chose to give him immunity and then chose to believe his bullshit where he's like, oh, I had a no-shit moment from 6 months ago. Really, you talked to Cheryl Mills, Hillary's top attorney, 2 days before you deleted that. I don't remember what I talked about then. Okay, sounds good. Maybe they need to ask Gambetta again. If it took him 6 months to have an oh shit moment and remember that conversation then, maybe now he'll remember what his conversation with Cheryl Mills was about. Maybe. Thanks for the follow, Sweden official. And he very well may flip. He's looking at serious time. He may flip and testify against Trump. And then you'll watch. You'll watch people like Destiny and Pisco and the rest of them. They'll go, oh boy, this is damning for Trump. And it's like, It's almost like threatening him with a crime and then asking him to flip worked. We know without a doubt, seeing as how Nada hasn't flipped right now. Now, hear me out, right? Nada hasn't flipped right now. He hasn't. So if they would have been like, hey, would you like immunity? And he was like, okay, sure. And they were like, did Trump tell you to do anything? And he said, no. That's what he would have said. Because that's what he's saying now as he's being threatened. So if he eventually flips, wouldn't that have proved that, oh, he flipped because he was being threatened with serious jail time? And maybe he will be telling the truth when he flips. That could be. But all of us understand that's the way to go after a higher up. Indict the lower level with crimes, and then try to put pressure on them to flip and give you more evidence against the higher up. But in the Hillary case, they did the opposite. But Trump's right to bring up the Biden scandal. And listen, like people were saying, you know, he makes these claims, I'll destroy the deep state. That's what he said last time. And let me be honest, there's other things I could criticize with this speech. He criticized the fact that Joe Biden is locking up for the first time in history, locking up his political rival. I mean, Trump did run on lock her up, Hillary Clinton. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem if it's selective prosecution. What's up, Nico on Kick? Thank you. That's a problem. Selective prosecution's a problem. But if the candidate for one party committed serious crimes, I don't have a problem with them being investigated and being indicted. The threshold has to be very high. The problem I have is the double standard. It'll only go against Trump. Won't go against Hillary. Won't go against Biden. Also, there's a question as to, is it a smart move to announce, I'm going to announce a special prosecutor to go after Biden and his family? That deserves to happen. But by announcing it, it probably allows some left-wing judge somewhere, if Trump would win, to say, this special counsel or whatever, it's not justified because Trump used this as a political promise. But, all right, well, I have work to do tonight. It appears as no one wants to come on a debate. That's okay. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow night because I finally get to go home, which will be wonderful. I can't wait. It's been too long. I haven't seen my wife and kids since Friday. So Friday morning. So
I love tea. I love tea.
find someone to raid on Twitch. Oh boy. Oh, the raid thing's screwing up. Go over to Lecture Fan. My chat does this sometimes. It's not going to let me raid. Go check Lecture Fan out. So, thank you all so much. No matter how bad this shit gets, right? And it's bad. The corruption in this country is bad. Find something in your life that makes you happy. Don't quit smiling. Did you ever notice how all these crazy left-wing people never laugh and joke and smile? That should tell you all you need to know. It's healthy to do that stuff. Laugh and joke and smile and have a good time. So, all right, thank you all so much. Remember, follow me on Kick. I appreciate that. I think it's going to be better than Twitch. Twitch is going to give me the boot eventually. Let's be honest. So will YouTube. So Rumble and Kick, that's where it's at. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you all soon. As always, have a good one.